We've all been there, right? Doesn't matter if you're buying a new phone or you're sourcing parts for a massive global supply chain. It's always that classic tug of war between what something costs and what it's actually worth. And if we're being honest, our first instinct is usually just to grab the cheapest thing on the shelf. But is that really the smartest move? Today, we're going to dig into why looking beyond that initial price tag isn't just a nice idea, it's an absolute game changer. So let's just get right to it and ask the big question. Is cheaper always better? I mean, in our everyday lives, finding a bargain can be great. But in the world of business, of procurement, the answer is a hard no. In fact, that lowest price can be a bit of a trap, hiding some serious risks that'll end up costing you way more down the road. And this is what I call the price tag trap. It's the old school way of thinking about buying things, and it's been around for decades. And you know why it's so sticky? Because it's so incredibly simple. Yeah, this traditional mindset is super ingrained because it's just so easy. You get 3 quotes, you look at the bottom number, and boom, the supplier with the lowest bid gets the job. It's quick, it's a piece of cake to justify to your boss, and hey, it looks fantastic on that quarterly budget report. But focusing only on that price, it means you're completely missing the bigger picture. And this, right here, is where that trap snaps shut. Those savings you thought you were getting, the ones that looked so good on the spreadsheet, they can be a total illusion. When you're only looking at the sticker price, you become blind to all the hidden costs that are waiting just around the corner. And here are the 2 biggest risks when you only focus on cost. First up, you end up with weak supplier partnerships. I mean, think about it. If the whole relationship is just about who's cheapest today, there's absolutely no reason for that supplier to help you out when things get tough. And second, which follows right from the first point, you get unreliable supply chains. A supplier who had to slash their prices to the bone to win your business, they might be cutting corners somewhere else, on quality, on logistics, you name it. And that can bring your entire operation to a grinding halt. So how do we get out of this mess? Well, it takes a totally different way of thinking. It's about making a strategic shift. You have to stop being a reactive cost cutter and start being a proactive value builder. Basically, it's time to stop thinking about the short-term sprint and start playing the long game.
And this big shift actually has a name. It's called strategic sourcing. And the definition is pretty simple. It's a procurement strategy that puts long-term value ahead of short-term cost. The most important word there is value. Now, value includes the price, of course, but it's so much more. It's also reliability, it's quality, it's innovation, and it's the strength of the relationship you have with your supplier.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Choose suppliers based on long-term value, not just cost. That one sentence completely flips the old way of doing things on its head. It's a huge change. You're not just looking for the cheapest component anymore. You're looking for the best partner. Okay, this chart lays out the difference perfectly. Just look at that first row. With cost-based sourcing, the primary focus is always the lowest initial price. But with strategic sourcing, that shifts to the best long-term value. Now, go down to the next one, the supplier view. In the old model, it's all business, purely transactional. In the new one, it's a real partnership. And finally, the core goal. The old way chases after short-term savings. The new, strategic way is aiming for something much more important, long-term reliability and strength. All right, so what's the big reward for making this change? What are the actual benefits you see when you adopt this strategic mindset? Well, this is where the approach really starts to shine, delivering value that goes way, way beyond that first invoice. You see, it sets off this amazing chain reaction. Once you start prioritizing total value, you naturally start looking for suppliers you can actually trust and work with. That leads you right into building strong partnerships. And those partnerships, they become the foundation for what every single business needs, lasting reliability. You know you can count on them to deliver, to meet your standards, and to actually work with you to solve problems instead of causing them. So if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. The most important change you can make is to shift your focus from finding the lowest cost to securing the greatest long-term value. That's it. That's the key to building a resilient and strong system, no matter what you're doing. And that leaves us with one final thought, a question for you to take with you. Think about your own world, whether it's your business, your career, or even a big decision in your personal life. Where could shifting your focus from that short-term cost to long-term value completely change everything? It's a pretty powerful thing to think about. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next one.